Hope you've been having an amazing time with us right here on Atlantic Television Network. This is another amazing program where we'll be discussing very interesting topics. It's Atlantic Blowout, and it's a syndicated live program of the network featuring chit-chatting and conversations and special interest topics on news events and stories through correspondence reports, through expert opinion and stakeholders analysis. Some of the stories we'll be looking at today, one of them is this one from Abia State. We're proactive in fights against cholera, from the governor of Abia State. And then on National Assembly, reps commend military for victories over criminal activities. And then on economy, federal government to introduce incentives to encourage foreign investment. And then we'll get to talk about the interesting topics about the national anthem. Reintroduced anthem could have prevented banditry by Akpabio. And then Police Recruitment Police Service Commission recommends IGP sack over controversy. On space flights, Nigeria to implement National Space Policy, NAGI. We'll introduce our guests who are ready to speak to you after the short timeout. Please stay with us.
They vote for government, but will not get good governance.
At all.
Roads so no day. Light outside. The infrastructure we can't turn to be forbidden fruit for the city.
Corruption, well everything. Hello?
Hello, madam. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Mrs. Ayeni. I am calling from the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs.
Okay. Okay, I've been expecting your call.
Madam, remove this your phone from loudspeaker.
No verse. Now my phone be like that. Hello?
Are you there?
I hear, I'm hearing you.
Yes. We saw a copy of your invoice for computers, printers, and laptops.
Yes. Are you working on them now?
Ma, the prices you quoted are way too high now.
Madam, sorry, oh. Please don't cost.
We found the laptop you said is 1.8 million naira for 600,000 naira.
Hello?
Now my body network there.
I can't hear you. Network is bad.
Madam, we can hear you. Continue.
Hello, I can't hear you. I will call you back.
Their behavior not good now.
Madam, now this kind behavior they kill our country. You suppose do things differently, make Nigeria for better.
Corruption not in my country. This message is brought to you by the Akin Fadeyi Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
corruption not in my country.
I don't get a lot. Boy, they won't booga me small. They say, man, give them bribe. I say, nothing. Okay, now, we'll go block later. You remember that contract we will do that time now? They don't pay.
But first, you see the house rent with the old things. We go first call caretaker, take the money, slap him.
Beg, see, you know, say I get annual levy why they pay for club. Where me and boys they shark beer in our house, I could pay that one. You remember say me and tell you I go buy you motor. I go buy now.
Okay, they pay you money now. We don't they beg caretaker? Why would they beg landlord, old man, and they agree give us time? Money can't come now. You won't divert time. You said na corruption. Corruption, not in my house and not in my country.
Sure?
Sure.
Corruption not in my country. This message is brought to you by the Akin Fadeyi Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
And with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
Corruption not in my country.
Kasali, I hope so.
Glad to know you're still with us on ATN Blowout. Now it's time to introduce our guest in the studio. With me is Justin Obi. He's a public affairs analyst, amongst many other things. Good morning, Justin. Welcome.
Yeah, good morning, Annie. Good to be here.
Welcome. I love the outfit. I told you earlier, right? I love the combination and the color combination, so fine. All right, let's look at our first story now. The Abia state government says it is taking proactive measures to prevent the outbreak of cholera in the state. Dr. Kalu, Executive Secretary, Abia State Primary Health Care Development Agency, disclosed this in an interview with newsmen on Wednesday. Kalu said that part of measures was the agency's insistence on the promotion of public hygiene and environmental sanitation across the state. And according to him, the agency is also working with the relevant stakeholders to strengthen the campaign on the prevention of cholera outbreak in the state. And he said that cholera as a fecal oral disease could be spread through the contamination of water or food with feces of an infected person. The ASDA official also said that cholera could be considered a waterborne disease because contaminated water remained a common vector or factor for its transmission. Kalu urged residents of the state to only drink water from safe sources and cautioned food vendors against selling contaminated food to members of the public. All right, looking at our measures now, Abia State is not the only state talking about measures that they are trying to put in place to prevent the spread of cholera or the outbreak of cholera in their states if it's not already noticed there, because cholera has been found in different states and it's actually spreading. You know, when it comes to hygiene in Nigeria, our hygiene is very poor. So when we talk about a disease that spreads through poor hygiene, it has the tendency to spread faster than some other places. But like I said, the preventive measures that are put on ground are basic measures. Wash your hands before you eat. Don't drink contaminated water. These are things that are basic. So why does it seem like we then have to, you know, put a lot and then start running helter-skelter, putting things on ground and in place to make sure that this kind of diseases do not spread? Do you get my point now?
Yes, actually, I got you. You know, well, first of all, we need to also commend state government that are talking about it. You know, when it comes to the issue of cholera, like rightly stated, is a waterborne disease. It can spread quickly. Now, government need to do more. You know, government need to do more. You know, even our hospitals. The other day I was in BMH. You know, you see a lot of people enter the hospital. There should be this need of you to wear nose masks. You understand? Proper washing of your hands. And when it comes to vendors, food vendors, you know, a lot of people patronize this. You know, Nigerians patronize food vendors, and you cannot ascertain where these food are being prepared. So the agency in charge of all this need to go a kind of a task force to ensure that the environment, now sanitation in Nigeria now is now based on, you know, is now a state thing. Some states can decide not to do sanitation, other states can just decide a particular day. But the government, the federal government itself, there should be a policy when it comes to environmental sanitation, that on a particular day, every state should have a day mapped out for environmental sanitation. I know here in River State, the government will always talk about Thursdays, every Thursdays, and that is just for those that are in the market. All of those that live around the vicinity, the residents of River State. So what are they doing when it comes to cleaning up their environment? So our government needs to do more. They need to do, maybe in schools, there should be orientations. They need to go around in churches, talk to them in churches. What are the measures they are putting in place? If not now that the Abia State government is talking about it, other states, what measures are they putting on? The federal government, have they come out to, you know, let the masses know that yes, cholera is actually is now on, and people need to start taking up measures individually, collectively, even as a community. So I commend the Abia State government for the proactive measures, while I also urge other states to borrow a leaf from what Governor Oti, you know, is doing in Abia State. Of course, you know, when it comes to Abia State, the state is more, when it comes to population, it's highly populated, and it's a business area. So I thank the government for that measure, and then we pray that even individually, as citizens too, we also need to, you know, find a way to ensure that we maintain a very good hygiene and keep our environment.
All right. Like what I said earlier when you actually started talking, these measures that are being mentioned, that will be put in place, are measures that should ordinarily be in place.
Yes.
Are we talking about orientation? We have agencies for this. Are we talking about making sure that there's food safety, making sure that the environment where some of these foods are prepared publicly are, well, there are people in charge of all of this. There are measures that are already put on ground to make sure that all of these things are working. So why does it seem like it's when we have something like this that is already killing people, that's when it looks like everybody was, okay, everybody wash your hands, you know, let's do this now, let's do that, let's take these measures, and then we'll come out and say, oh, we are taking proactive measures to make sure that this doesn't get to our state. We have with us in the studio Dandy Loveday. He just joined us, and I would really love to get his thoughts on this. But Dandy, how are you doing this morning?
I'm good. Good morning.
Good
Thank
morning.
you for having me.
Welcome
morning.
to ATM Blowout. Yes, let's hear your thoughts on this story.
You know, when you said
they
are being proactive in fight against cholera, and then when you go through it, you find out that being proactive, you said they are carrying out orientation, they are trying to sensitize the people, and then they are going to the villages to use the tank cars. And that's the proactiveness of a government. I think in doing that, that's good. In sensitizing the people is good, but I think they need to also go beyond that level.
Okay.
What's the proactiveness in trying to sensitize the people? If you sensitize them and then, unfortunately, if the incident happened, how do you tackle it? I was thinking the Abia State governor will go ahead to tell us we've built, should I say, refurnish our health sector, we've arranged it, these are the equipments we've gotten for it, these are our preparedness and all that. All we got there was just being proactive means sensitizing the people. So the government have to do more. They need to do more. They need to do more things.
All right, that's Abia State government. Now,
yes,
what about, remember, cholera is not just...
yeah, I think it's almost everywhere, both the
yes.
states. You take, I think it comes more from taking bad water.
Yes, so, bad, contaminated water, contaminated food, even through handshakes, someone who probably didn't wash his hands and all of those things.
That has if you talk about bad water, do we even have clean drinking water in this country? Why do we even talk about the state? What are we doing in that angle? What of the Ministry of Water Resources? What have they been doing? In fact, we're only basing on what World Bank can give to us. And then at this level, we are still talking about cholera outbreak. It means that the government is not doing something they are supposed to do, to an extent. Why are we still struggling with drinking water at this level? So if the proactiveness should go beyond, let it go beyond orientation. Tell us we have provided very clean water, potable water for these people to drink. Then we have also gone ahead to build health centers. Go and provide
the measures. It's funny that, you know, I was thinking about this story yesterday, and I realized that it's very funny, like I said earlier, that the measures that we are supposed to put on ground as reactive measures are ordinarily things that should have been on ground. Yeah, we have worked on our health center. Is that not what we're supposed to do on a normal day?
Ordinarily. What you also understand that
yes.
we are human beings.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we are human beings, and being human too, you know, you need, you know, on a regular basis to be reminded of what you ought to do. I don't actually say anything wrong. Government's coming to say, okay, you know, continue in this process. I know you've been doing this, but continue.
We've not been doing it.
But the question is,
have we really been doing it?
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's what I'm saying.
So
even we as Nigerians, aside the leaders now,
before you
eat.
In fact, some person will just wash one part.
Very true.
And then you continue.
And you know, we're saying wash hand. They don't wash. Some people just rinse their hands.
That's the right way.
Or they don't wet their hands.
No, the question again is, has that been causing cholera?
Has that not? What did, now, just back to what you said now.
Okay.
Do we need to wait for your neighbor to get the disease or contact the disease before you now say, oh, I'm supposed to wash my hands with soap and water?
Right. We've been washing our hands with soap and water. See, another key thing we must understand is that this thing is not very effective without mere washing of hand. Maybe taking food and all that. It's very effective in taking bad water.
There are measures that we should take, right? We are being told, yes, preventive measures. Wash your hands.
I agree.
This is something we're taught in primary school, right? Or was it just me?
No, we were taught. Right. I also agree.
So I'm not faulting those who have probably have been affected by the disease. No, I'm saying that sometimes we forget the things that we're supposed to do, and then we don't do it.
That's at the individual level.
Yes,
also
I'm talking about the individuals and the leaders.
Yes.
Because it's these individuals that become leaders tomorrow or today, whichever day it happens. But it's these people in the society that then become leaders. So we take that character of not doing what we know is right and we are supposed to do. We take it into leadership. And then we, at the leadership level, do not now do what we are supposed to do at that level.
It also means that the government need to provide the social amenities required. If I don't have soap in my house, how do I wash my hand with soap? Then if the only water available is rainwater with me, what do you expect me to do? Okay, like the last time we had blackout, so many persons were depending on rainwater. In that case, how do you solve the issue?
But as it is in the nation now, everyone has provided his own water.
And they are telling you that water is not clean.
So
because at the drainage level, we didn't get to the drainage level. And people are still suffering in that level. So the government also need to come in.
So the society at large, we need to be proactive better than being reactive, right?
Yeah, very well.
For governors to come out now and say, oh, we are sensitizing the people, oh, we're putting this in place, or putting that in place. When you look at the things they are stating they are putting in place, are things that should ordinarily have been in place.
Exactly.
So we all have roles to play. I have a role to play. You have a role to play. The next time you see someone who's wanting to eat in public and he's not washing his hands with soap, then you have to speak up. You have to tell him to do the right thing. All right, we all need to do the right thing at different stages of our lives. All right, let's look at the next story now. The Chairman, House of Representatives Committee on Defense, Honorable Babajimi Benson, has said that the successes recorded in various operations across the country by the Nigerian military underscore the bravery, professionalism, and unwavering commitment of the military personnel to safeguarding the nation. Now, the chairman further highlighted that troops under the multinational Joint Task Force have continually delivered significant blows to terrorist groups in the Lake Chad region through a series of daring operations. In one of such operations conducted on 15th of June 2024, several terrorists were neutralized and 34 women and children were rescued from insurgents. Now, reps commending the military for victories over criminal activities so far. Let's get your thoughts.
Yes, it's highly commendable, you know. It's good that we are getting these kind of stories. When you listen up, 34 women and children, you know, have been rescued from this bandit. Yes, I just want to encourage our men and women in uniform, you know, to not relent. They need to do more. Because the issue of terrorism, bandits, and all of that, it shouldn't be at this time and level that we are in. It shouldn't be things we should be talking about. So I want to commend the men in uniform, the military, of course, the Joint Task Force. It's a Joint Task Force, so it's a good one. And the reps too, they should also do all they need to, you know, to encourage them. Because to whom more is given, more is also what expected. So kudos to.
Would you say the military is doing enough in tackling banditry, terrorism, criminality presently?
Oh, whatever it is, we have to also commend them. So far, the military is not easy. In the bush, others are in their homes, and all that. It's a good effort. Some other person may just say that's the job they've signed for, but they are humans.
Of course.
And when they go through a lot, while people are sleeping, they are fighting, and all that. That's to talk about the good ones. There are also bad eggs in the military. While others are busy fighting, you also find out that you find some persons who are not even military officers. In fact, some persons doing one or the other two things outside. That's not encouraging. So I must join the reps to applaud the military so far in tackling these insurgents. They may not have been there, but their approach so far is good. So they need to also step up for them.
What do you expect when you say they need to step up?
They need to step up in the intelligence gathering. They need to also step up in being more proactive. What do I mean by that? It's not when something has happened, an attack has been carried out, then you see the military coming, don't worry, we'll get them, and all that. So we need to also change that scenario. Let's come up to the stage where before it happens, they've already tracked the system. And then they've gotten it. They said, this is what we got. They wanted to do this. They wanted to carry out this attack. That would be fine. That would be better than they've already kidnapped somebody. Then we'll say, well, don't worry, we'll get them. So they need to also...
How do we get to that point where you just described now, where we get the information beforehand? Because what we get in news a lot of times is, like you said, proactive measures to rescue, rescue operations and all of that.
That's also where the government have to come in to be very supportive. What's their challenge, or what are their challenges? Are they facing, do they have the necessary facility? Do they have the equipment? Do they have the arms to be able to tackle this? Then do they also have the technologies to be able to track these actions? What do they need? Do they also have the manpower to be able to behave almost everywhere and all that? So more of these need to be. Do they also even have the finance? What about their vehicles Are they in order? Are they carrying vehicles that before you get there, the tire is one side? How do they even get their petrol and all that? So this is also where the government have to come in to be supportive. The government needs to support them.
Talking about what the government needs to do and how they can come in, how much would you say the government is doing concerning supporting the military or even security agencies in Nigeria, from your analysis?
You know, of course, when it comes to security issues, it's usually highly confidential. But then when we hear news of this nature is the fact that the government too are also doing their bits to ensure that you know, they maintain peace and order in the nation. So far so good. Yeah, the government.
What do you expect? What do you expect now from the federal government?
Yeah.
There's insurgency still going on, banditry, insecurity, farmer headers clashes. There's so much going on.
Compared to, you know, before now, I think somehow it has reduced.
What has reduced now? Insecurity in general?
No, yes, that's reduced. Do you hear more?
If we hear more. If you follow the news every day, you hear of killings in one part of the country, killings in another part of the country.
Yeah, of course.
Especially when it has to do with farmers now.
Yes, you know, it's one-sided now. Unlike before, you hear these bandits going to a particular area or community or to school, you know, kidnapping a huge number of women and children.
Do you agree we've had a reduction in the cases of insecurity in Nigeria?
I may not agree to that totally. That's because some of the incidents that are even being reported, the ones that are not reported are more. There are lots going on. And if you even talk about the ones that are being reported, they are issues that shouldn't even come up ordinarily. How can a terrorist group or whatever the name they may be just come up, get to a school, begin to pack everybody, say go in and all that? That does not even take, that's not just an action you carry for a minute. Take you minutes.
It takes a lot of planning before the execution.
And all that, good, and all that. So does it mean nobody with phone? Though most times we don't even hear their own part. So, and these actions will happen. They don't even fly there. They don't say, in fact, it's not like they disappear. They still drive in their vehicle and then take them to somewhere. And then later we'll now begin to hear, don't worry, we'll get them. So that's where I said the military have to step up. They are doing a lot. We may not also know their challenges. You know, they are trained not to talk. So that's why I said the government have to even look into it. Try to understand that these persons are fighting for the masses. They are fighting for the country. So there is need to support them in that angle so that they can do more better.
All right, the federal government has announced plans to drive foreign direct investments by deploying the use of incentives. Now, these incentives include custom duty waivers, tax breaks, and deferred payments to the government during the initial phases of business operations. The managing director of Nigeria Export Processing Zones Authority, Olufemi Ogunyemi, on Tuesday said the incentives include tax breaks, duty waivers, deferred payments, noting that the move was in response to challenges posed by foreign exchange constraints and unreliable power supply. He stated that the move is an effort to reduce production costs and incentivize companies to maintain their operations within Nigeria. He added that by alleviating the financial burden through customs duty waivers and tax breaks, Nigeria Export Processing Zones Authority aims to create a favorable business environment that encourages both local and foreign investments. Now, this is something that Nigerians have been, should I say, crying for some time now. They've been asking for this particular move by the government. Oh, make business easy, doing business easy. Some of our foreign investors are leaving. Money is that's money. When you hear foreign investors are leaving, you see money walking out of the nation. And even for local business owners in the country, these incentives and all of these things have been on talks now for some time. What are your thoughts, Dandy?
First, good efforts. if that would be genuine.
What do you mean if that would be genuine?
You know, sometimes you just hear these things in the media, and then when you get to the business community, you understand that nothing of such is taking place. You talk about tax waiver. It's good. If you do that, that's one aspect that can also encourage investors. The burden of, like in Rivers State, where you have the local government tax force coming in and all that could also discourage
multiple
business.
Taxation.
Yeah, that could also discourage business. Then, in this case, they also talked about the area he mentioned where I was very comfortable with, where he said the business environment are faced with unreliable power supply. And then the whole of this, the target is to reduce price, cost of production actually.
Yes.
And then if cost of production is reduced, automatically it will affect the inflation rate to help to reduce it. So if the government have this plan, I applaud them to carry it out. And then go beyond this in order to achieve total reduction in cost of production. And that will even make more persons to come into the business. So I applaud the government.
You talked about the move being genuine, right?
Yeah.
And you explained that you hope they carried out and all of that. But do you feel like there are some political undertone to this? Do you think that there's a reason this statement is being made? Hold that thought there. Let's get Justin's thoughts on
most times when I hear such pronouncement by government, I have this mixed feelings.
Why? Why do Nigerians have that?
No, because the reason be that this is just at your reach.
What's
you
at
can't be
your
coming
reach
on
now?
to tell us that you have plan of reducing tax. Go ahead and do that, right? You don't come up here. We have plans to reduce tax. We have plans to increase this, so that, of course, when it comes to issue of foreign investors, it's not today they started leaving the shores of the country. So we all are aware that when it comes to foreign investment, there's nothing going on. So what I expect the government to come up to tell us now is that yes, we have erased tax for foreign investors. Anything that has to do with export duties and all of that, we've removed it. We have reduced it from it used to be 100%, reduced to 30%. Now going forward, this is what should be, this is what should not be, this is what we have done, and then at that point we can start applauding.
Are you saying we don't expect the government to tell us what their plans are?
No, the plans already, even you seated there, myself seated there, Dandy seated there, we all have plans. When you have plans and you are not carrying your plans out, it's just good as leaving it on the paper. What we need is action.
We haven't seen enough action with this administration?
No, this administration is that they are good in when it comes to paperwork.
Really?
Yes.
With all of what we're saying, we've not seen actions?
We need action. That's what we are saying.
We've not seen actions, Dandy.
We've seen action. The action is fuel subsidy.
Fuel subsidy. That's plenty of action.
Is it positive?
Action in one.
No, when we talk about action, when we talk about action, we are looking at action that will affect the lives of the people.
Positively.
That's why I agree with
the
him.
The first time the president came in, the first thing he did was to pronounce that fuel subsidies is removed. That's action.
Yes.
Did it come to tell that you have a plan of removing? It was done immediately. So these are the things we are talking about. You should come and tell us that.
So
what we have done.
Should have more of that instead of coming to tell us what you actually plan to do. But the president has told us, we keep mentioning, when we talk about actions with negative effects, we keep mentioning removal of fuel subsidy. We have been told that this is a long-term, fruitful venture. After a while, it will be fruitful. You might not know. It's like disciplining a child. After a while, the child will get to find out why those actions were being taken place.
When you're about to take an action, you know that's going to affect one, negatively as, so to be. You should also have some means, some devices you have also put in place, at least to subside or cushion what effect. That effect, your action will be on whoever that you are, doing that to. So, but in the case of our government is that they push us to the wall. And when we get to the wall, they have a way of coming to tell us that, okay, don't worry, everything's going to be fine, we are doing this, we are doing that. And up to this moment, we have to see all of that.
Okay, so we have the ease of doing business. It looks like you were itching to say something to that.
No, you know, first of all, I wanted to just commend you that you're a very brilliant, powerful journalist. Why do I say so?
Why do I feel like you're trying to be sarcastic?
No, I'm trying. No, I'm trying to tell you, you're very brilliant. You know why I say so? He made a point, very powerful point. And then we now said we are trying to come up with what FG have even the promise that have come to buy. And then we say fuel subsidy removal, and then you're trying to also drive. See, that thing you're driving, that place
that
you're
thing,
driving.
you mean that thing that the president stated? Because I only stated the statement.
No, what the president stated is good. He was making a point. Do you understand? The point is, before coming out to tell us you've introduced or you want to introduce incentive, don't come and tell us that. Tell us this is what we did, and this is what the result is coming out to be. So when they are trying to, because when I started with, I said, just genuine. So, and you were like, how much more? Does it mean that this administration have not carried out any promise? And then you drove us down to the other side.
I drove you down.
I have to bring us back.
You mentioned no subsidy at that point.
No, it's very important that you brought us back to.
You know, I have to now say, driver, hold on. I want to ease myself. Let's go down to this.
But when we talk about the ease of doing business in Nigeria, this topic has been on the table for some time now.
Yes.
Or what do you think business owners are expecting from the government now, especially with what is going on, prices of goods up there, production costs up there? I know that the government has come out to mention some of the things they want to do, but let's also talk about what business owners are expecting right now.
Action, like what they've come out to say. Action, policies, good policies, both monetary policies, macroeconomic policies to help drive the economy. And then if we don't have this, if we depend on paperwork or media talking and all that, nothing will happen. And if you're doing this, try to create employment. But with this level of inflation rate and all that, how do you create employment? Now try to, whatever the government will do to reduce cost of production, go to the sectors. Even in the electricity sector. Now the electricity sector we have, let's say we have a constant power supply, and then you're coming out to increase the charge. How do you now reduce cost of production? Then the government should also come in, even if it has to do with subsidizing cost of production. That will also drive down the inflation rate we have. But if the government seems not to be doing something about that, and you're not coming on paper to tell us we want to remove tax, we want to do this and all that, what's bringing the tax? Tax is also acting. But this tax, is that the major determinant of the cost of production?
Isn't that part of it?
That should be part. That's why I say, is it the major determinant? Is it the major determinant? How much more am I buying petrol? How much more am I even paying my workers? Even if we don't even have enough workers as I should have, what's the capacity? What's the manpower capacity? So it means a lot has gone wrong in our production system. Then what's my source of raw material supply? How do I get it? How good is the road? What's the transportation cost? So if, from what I'm explaining, you find out that the government need to touch every other sector to be able to achieve lower cost of production. X, it keep rising.
When do we see all of these things, being put in place?
When we have the right government.
We actually have, when we have
the right government. What do I mean by right government? When we have people who will now begin to think that the masses matters a lot. When we have this current government that will now have people surrounding the president that will come out to tell the president, don't worry, president, all is well. No. Tell the president, a lot is happening. We need to do this. Even if the president is saying no, come up to say no, president.
Do you think it's a case of the president not knowing what exactly is going on in our society?
What you also need to understand is that we have constituencies, right? And we have people representing us. And I mean us, that's the masses, at every level. So they have a way of communicating the problem, what the people are facing.
To the president.
Now, the point is, are they actually doing what is expected of them? And if yes, are they passing through the right channel? And what is the federal government also doing about this? that the federal government is not aware of the plight of the people, well, I can't just agree to that.
From his statements, it's obvious that the federal government is aware. The president is aware.
He's aware.
Even yesterday, we had a story where the president said Nigeria is not the only country going through hardship.
So that's the comment.
So let's focus, or let's also look at insecurity. Let's also look at terrorism. Let's also look at all those things.
So does that mean?
It's obvious that the president is aware of what Nigerians are facing.
You ask a question and say, when are we going to get out of this? So this question, they think the president is telling us that you are not only people suffering. Does it look like we are coming out of it soon? You know they need to be careful. He mentioned something. He said you have constituency. I don't. The person who is representing my own constituency in the House of Rep, I have not seen him before. Okay. When last did I even see him? The last time I saw some of them are just doing this protest. Now, what will you go and tell the president? Do you even know? In fact, some LGAs in Rivers, they don't not have light for 2 years. Have you gone 3 years? Have you even gone to tell the president that? Even my own LGA. Do you understand?
Yes, I've also had some local government too, you know, that phone will tell you that they see light, you know, 3 times in a month. So you can imagine how many we have 12 months.
No, they should rejoice they are seeing 3 times. I'm saying for 3 years. My own LGA.
What local government is that?
Emoha local government and Ikwere local government, to be specific. 3 good years, no light. And all that. So what would you say? What has the man who is representing the House of Representatives said? Not to talk about the Senate, to be sincere as I'm sitting here, I've forgotten who is the senator. I can't even, I've been thinking to record the name, I can't. So how do you go and communicate to the president? Because there's no relationship with the people who voted you in. You only come back to meet the people to even move word to word. In fact, sometimes community to community. When you're seeking their vote, outside that, you now come up with convoy to tell the people to leave. And how then do we get it right? How will the president even know?
From your explanation, Danny, are you still saying that the president is not or might not be aware of what the people are actually facing?
The president is only aware of what they are telling him. If I come up to the president and say, on your mandate, the president will feel he's doing well. If I come up on his president, don't worry, we've handled this, we've tackled, he will feel he's doing well. In fact, the last time the president Bola Ahmed Tinubu told, he said if you go to the social media, they will abuse hell out of you. So he doesn't even go there again. So how will the masses tell the president what is happening?
Do you see a point there? Because you stated earlier that you don't feel it's a case of the president not being aware.
Of course, the president is aware that generally the masses are suffering. You understand? There are a lot of hardship in the country. But again, too, like you said, those representing us are different constituencies. What are they telling the president? In what way are they helping the president to deliver on this mandate? That's another bigger question. Now, the other time we had a particular governor buying cars for reps representing them. If you know that you now start looking at some political work on that too. Is it when they need favor, they'll come to they remember that we have people. They're even ready to even chew corn with you. They're ready to even walk on the street with you. So when they are done with that, you give them all the votes, they go to Abuja, they remain there and forget that they are from a particular constituency. So if the government, telling that the government is not aware, the government is very much aware generally what is happening. But then, particularly in these different locality where we have people representing us, where we have senators representing us, what are they doing? What is their feedback to the president?
And then we also have commissioners in charge of some of these sectors.
Yeah, so those are the issues. Those are the issues. Because these people, yes, commissioners, they are just there, they collect their salary at the end of the month. The question, what are they doing? We don't talk about cholera now. We have Ministry of Health, we have Commissioner for Health.
Of course, to handle that.
To handle all this. So
it's not about the president knowing, oh, these people don't have electricity, oh, does the president know health is this, the president know. What happens to the commissioners that are in charge and involved in all of those sectors?
What we are seeing in this country is that people do things and they go scoff. We have not seen where, we have what we call a conference where you call a particular commissioner to come and we interview him, ask him questions, and then we'll have people from that particular constituency or the department to call in and then to react to what he has said. So we don't have such forum. Even the media too. The media also probably have a limit to what they can also offer. You understand? So if you have an enabling environment, so to say democracy, the government of the people for the people, when we have freedom of speech, not minding who the person is, we are not coming here to criticize you. We are only doing this to ensure that you can better, your position, either as a commissioner, as a governor, as the president. But what we see these days is that once the governor or the president make a pronouncement, that be it. And the people have no say.
The commissioner is part of the government. The commissioner is part of the executive arm. Now the commissioner will only carry out the duty assigned to him by either the governor in this case, because he's a commissioner. Then the ministers will also carry out the duties assigned to them by the president. Then this government has been shared in such a way that even the president, in fact, he can shake a system. What about the National Assembly? What about those, what's it called, the State Assembly? They are supposed to transmit what the masses are going through, those you are representing are going through, to the executive. Then the president will now order the commissioner, this is what we are supposed to do because these people have asked for this. When last, even the ones in the National Assembly, they are fighting. So when will they even transmit to the governor? These are part of the challenges we have as a nation. Until we begin to look at it in such a way that I'm comfortable, relaxed, because somebody is talking my mind. Somebody is speaking the problem of my region to the president, to whosoever that is in power. Until we get it to that extent, then the masses will not even be comfortable. That's why you hear about protests, you hear about people writing and all that, because everybody is just looking for a channel to get the president's attention, to get the governor's attention. So the arms of government, every other citizen, need to be proactive also.
Everybody just needs to do their jobs. And then looking at the next story now, recall that the Senate and the House of Representatives passed the National Anthem Bill 2024 to revert to the old National Anthem, Nigeria We Hail Thee, which was abolished in 1978. The National Assembly passed the bill to swap the national anthem from Arise O Compatriots to Nigeria We Hail Thee. And then the bill, which speedily passed first and second readings on the same day, was assented to by President Bola Tinubu, making it the new anthem of the country. And this is something that caused an uproar in Nigeria. During a visit to Nigeria Institute of Legislative and Democratic Studies in Abuja on Tuesday, Akpabio said the reintroduced anthem would foster unity, patriotism and love amongst Nigerians. Akpabio said those labeling the reintroduced anthem as an element of colonialism don't understand the country's history and are ignorant of the law. According to the Senate President, a panel made up of Nigerians was set up in 1959, which received inputs from all over the world regarding the anthem and approved the reintroduced anthem at that time. Now, he has also said that the other impactful bill signed by the National Assembly is the reverting of our old national anthem. And in his words, we have kept, or if we had kept to that anthem, we probably would not have banditry today in Nigeria. Because if you take your neighbor as your brother, you will not want to kill him. Dandy, do you take your neighbor as your brother? Can you, let me get your thoughts before I hit you with the anthem now. Go on.
If you take your brother as yourself, you won't kill. Ordinarily, it's wrong to kill anybody and all that. If you see, will you kill yourself? So if you take your brother as you are,
or your neighbor as your brother,
neighbor as your brother, your whoever is here as your brother and all that, you won't even go into kill with conscience, for conscience sake. So that's on that side, except there's any other thing you want me to proceed to.
No, go on. Let's get your thoughts on the statement by Akpabio saying that if we probably had maintained this anthem earlier, we might not have had cases of banditry today.
The Senate President is one man we respect so much in this country. And several times he has a way of keeping us into talking. And then you're telling us that if we have had this anthem, we wouldn't have had banditry. So the other one we had, it was what caused the banditry. And then we were talking about green, white, green. One day they will also come out to tell us that this flag we have
is not
is not helping us to solve banditry and all that. So then, you know, when I saw this story, I was just thinking, how will I be singing Nigeria we hate thee and all that, and then that has solved banditry? Except the senior president is coming up with something that if we're singing that with the words containing in that anthem.
Of course, it gives us the consciousness.
That to give us the consciousness to say, no need to kill the other person. But how much impact has the other anthem?
With all its words.
Yeah, how much consciousness has it given to us? I don't have a job, and then anthem is giving me consciousness. There are so many church songs. There are so many songs even sung in the mosque. There are so many things. How much consciousness has he given to the person who is hungry? So it means the senior president must have to go. Could this be the reason why they have to facilitate the issue of this, passing this anthem? And then they are not even facilitating the issue of workers' welfare. They are not facilitating the issue of east-west road. They are not facilitating the issue of fixing the refinery. They are not facilitating the issue of even getting us constant electricity. They are not facilitating the issue of getting us good health care. They are not facilitating the issue of even tackling inflation. And they have facilitated the issue of national anthem. So with the speed, I want to encourage the senior president, with the speed you use, that this could solve, could prevent banditry.
If it could have prevented, that means he has tendencies of solving.
Please let other sector also that have the tendency of solving. In fact, I want to even inform the senior president that what could even solve this banditry is that if you get the people engaged in doing something outside this. Many persons and idle persons in the devil's workshop that is saying in that form.
Don't you think banditry is deeper than that?
What's banditry? Because it's given a name. What about the Boko Haram issue? What about the militancy? No, okay, militancy is a different thing. Okay, whatever it is. What about criminality? What about thieves? What about these issues? Are they not also deeper as a country? If they are not deeper, why are they carrying security? So it means the country is faced with insecurity far beyond being tackled by a national anthem. This is the truth. And the senior president said I even wanted to watch the video to see whether he was joking. And then the media took it off from there so that he could explain more how this could prevent banditry. Is it the consciousness? The country has gone beyond consciousness. We want to feel in part of government. The impact of government today. How many people? You're a journalist. Go out to the road. Go to the taxi drivers. Go to the masses. Begin to interview how many people that can sing their national anthem and see how it will not prevent banditry.
I wanted to start from the studio instead of going out.
Don't even start with me. You can start with Justin. Maybe he knows how to sing it very well.
Should I start from the studio instead of going out to the drivers? Yes, Justin, let's hear you.
But of course, we'll start with Tenny.
I'm the moderator here. I want to start with you.
No, you're the leader. We want to learn from you. Even the day they were singing that. Even the day they were singing it.
Nigeria.
You know these journalists can
explaining?
The day they were singing it at the National Assembly, so they now brought the camera close to them. Just here, people are just shaking. The president even he was just kept
yes, Justin.
The challenge I'm having with this is, you start thinking if actually our Senate, actually doing the work they are called to do, because if national anthem as it is has become an issue, the word being used that can be speedily, passed. The
first and second in a
same day, and then the president, gave his assent to that. Now, I now start thinking, what made the government then, to stop this anthem in the first place, right? Now, when you look at the first line of the sentence, Nigeria will hail thee. So I'm trying to look. It was during the time of colonialism. Probably, yes, Nigeria at that point, we have men, that was so brave in the resistance to get that got the independence for us. I guess my point. And by so doing, when you sing that anthem, yes, we hail Nigeria from bringing ourselves out of what colonial rule. So I think it was Obasanjo during his tenure that brought in this Arise, O Compatriots. So I'm looking at what is the issue? Why are we going back? And then this saying, you don't go back to your vomit. We need to move forward. Why are we going backward? Do you know what this is going to mean? Like Dandy rightly said, a lot of things is happening. Hardship in the town. When you go to schools now, we are not going to make teachers, owners of school to start passing through or making every child to learn this new anthem. An anthem they never knew about. And our senior president is coming to tell us about history. How much history does he know of Nigeria? So if you are so good that if you so know that yes, that this anthem would have stopped banditry. So that means that statement is also indicting. So if an anthem can stop banditry, so that means that you know a lot about it. So we also need to start asking a lot of questions. I get my point. So
of course.
This is not an issue. The anthem shouldn't be an issue for now. Because telling us to go back, I don't even know how to recite the anthem to start.
Daddy, you're going to say something.
You know, if we begin to compare the advanced countries, the countries we've now tagged as advanced countries, and we've accepted ourselves as developing countries. Go to China, for instance. You see anthem that is developing China. That's to tell you a country that wants to rigmarole. And we will not accept to rigmarole. You see anthem that, you know why our teachers now have been given a new duty, just like he mentioned, to start teaching children on new anthem. China has been given a new duty to start teaching their people how to construct solar system, how to construct vehicles and all that.
And then downloading the lyrics of a new anthem.
Exactly, we are now struggling with new anthem, and we want to be a developed nation. Is that forwardness? I said it here in this studio last time. Until we change that curriculum where they say draw and label butterfly, then it means it's something else. Until we change it to construct butterfly. Construct, you want to try to dissect fish, operate it, and allow it go. Until we get to that level. And now we're not done with that. You're bringing us back to national anthem, where the teachers will now take maybe one full term to teach the children on national anthem. I've been singing the other one. In fact, there is this other one. This is third one. Oh God of creation, there is one. Yes. Then before we talk about arise, O compact, you're adding this one. It will get a time where maybe a government that will not be comfortable with this, and then we'll be singing the three of it.
It's just a stanza and another stanza. That's the Oh God of creation, just another stanza of the same.
All the time we've been singing, how much has entered our account?
Is that what you're interested in?
You're not
aren't you interested in the welfare and the like you said, moving forward?
So how is that welfare? How is that anthem welfare?
Like the government has said, what happened to the lyrics and the
well, and not the lives of
David. At this point, I was even expecting to see a lot of skits on that. I didn't see much of that. Nigerians did not deliver this time. Okay, you are coming with small skits. Okay, we'll see more. Yeah. All right, let's go on a short break right now. When we return, the conversation continues. Interesting topics coming your way. Please stay with us.
and down like this now?
I hope nobody carry belle.
Why you ask, oh?
Because this road where they see so, it no guarantee safe delivery.
We just dey vote for government, but we not get good governance.
At all.
Road so e no dey, light o usai, the infrastructure nko e come turn to be forbidden fruit for the city.
Corruption, spoil everything. Hello?
Hello, madam. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Mrs. Ayeni. I am calling from the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs.
Okay. Okay, I've been expecting your call.
Madam, remove this your phone from loudspeaker.
No vex, now my phone be like that. Hello?
Are you there?
I hear, I'm hearing you.
Yes. We saw a copy of your invoice for computers, printers, and laptops.
Yes. Are you working on them now?
Ma, the prices you quoted are way too high now.
Madam, sorry, please don't cost.
We found the laptop you said is 1.8 million naira for 600,000 naira.
Hello?
Now my body network there.
I can't hear you. Network is bad.
Madam, we can hear you. Continue.
Hello, I can't hear you. I will call you back.
Their behavior not good now.
Madam, now this kind behavior they kill our country. You suppose do things differently, make Nigeria for better.
Corruption not in my country.
This message is brought to you by the Akinfade Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
Corruption not in my country.
I don't get a lot. Boy, they won't booga me small. They say, man, give them bribe. I say, nothing. Okay, now, we'll go block later. You remember that contract we will do that time now? They don't pay.
But first, you see the house rent with the old things. We go first call caretaker, take the money, slap him.
Beg, see, you know, say I get annual levy why they pay for club. Where me and boys they shark beer in our house, I go pay that one. You remember say me and tell you I go buy you motor. I go buy now.
Okay, they pay you money now. We don't they beg caretaker? Why would they beg landlord, old man, and they agree give us time? Money can't come now. You won't divert time. You said na corruption. Corruption, not in my house and not in my country.
Sure?
Sure.
Corruption not in my country.
This message is brought to you by the Akinfade Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
Corruption not in my country.
Kasali, I hope my car don't ready. I get interview in 30 minutes.
Okay, you don't ready. I just the last minute instruction where you give me yesterday. Now in the cause more delay.
Which instruction?
Maybe now you say make I change the meter, make you no read again.
Which time I make you change meter? Oh, Kasali, why you do like this now? You don't get sense. You don't read the text message. Nobody I want send them to. Like Kasali, my electrician, make it come house, call me do my meter so that you don't go to read again. You the electrician?
You're electrician.
Yes, now.
So you call Kasali electrician, make it come help you adjust your meter, make it for no read again, Abi. So you said you want join people where be say they no want they pay NEPA bill again, Abi. Oga, you know good now. You don't they behave like all these stiff people.
Oh, what you change from your motor? What you change from?
Full light. Fuel gauge. Speedometer.
For what you know, you for come over home my motor. I better identify for me.
Okay. Now don't do something we corrupt. And something come backfire. Now go come they find how to dodge them.
What you talk?
They greet you.
Corruption not in my country.
This message is brought to you by the Akinfade Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
Corruption not in my country.
What you want to buy?
Potato. Small basket. I want plantain. But why your plantain can't hard like this?
Madam, now the outside hard. Inside there, it is very soft. But
Madam, wallahi make her no buy. Make her show you something. What be this one? Madam, this one are the chemical they put on for the plantain make her ripe up.
So you
Thank you so much for standing by. Let's go straight to our next story now. The Joint Office of the Police Service Commission, PSC, has urged President Bola Tinubu to sack the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, over his alleged meddlesomeness in the recent recruitment of constables. Now, addressing a press briefing in Abuja on Wednesday, June 19, the union also alleged that some top officers within the force smuggled some names in during the recruitment process. The aggrieved members of the union, while chanting protest songs, described the reaction of the MPF as diversionary tactics. According to them, MPF intends to prevent the president from noticing the unpreparedness of the police training schools to handle the training of the recruits, owing to the sorry state of the facilities. Now the move comes after the PSC recently released of successful candidates employed from the recent recruitment exercise. Now the list was later rejected by the force, who described the recruitment process as fraudulent. Muyiwa Adejobi, force spokesperson, said the published names of candidates contains names of candidates who, one, failed either the computer-based test, as the CBT, or physical screening exercise, or both. And Adejobi also said that some of those disqualified over medical issues also made the list of successful candidates as published by the PSC. Hearing of corruption cases, alleged cases in the police force is something that would make a lot of Nigerians raise eyebrows. Let's hear you.
No, of course, when it comes to, corruption within the police force, that should be a no-no thing, because police itself, is responsible when it comes to safeguarding, the people of the country. So when we start hearing issues of this nature among the police force, it shouldn't be condoned. So I also want to join my voice with that of the Police Service Commission, urging Mr. President to this alleged malpractices among the police force, and then talking about the sack of the IG. Well, I don't know what they have as their guidelines, a constitution per se, or what is guiding the police force. But if that is what is obtainable, well, I would just suggest that this needs to be looked into, because you cannot be having people that are not qualified. We are trying to fight corruption, and they are bringing it. So this is the country we are in. So this kind of thing shouldn't be not in the force. That should be the one to say no, and you are not the one accommodating such. So for me, it should be.
And then they are alleging that some of these people are not medically fit. And that's a serious matter that should definitely be investigated. Dandy.
How did they know they are not medically fit?
They said they failed the medical test.
If they also have the opportunity, they will fix in their people. It just goes to show that a lot has gone bad in the country. You're blaming the IGP, he fixed names and all that. Why didn't you publish the names the IGP fixed? And then if you were there, would you not fix your own? You're seeing your people.
Is that what you would do if you were there?
No, I'm coming. If you were there, they would, even them, why are they agitating? Is it not so that their own will enter? But whatever it is, the IGP, what it is supposed to be, if there are criteria of giving out the job, the IGP is expected to follow. But why am I sounding this way? The IGP have even said, no, I didn't do it. And then they are alleging he did. So that's what I'm saying. If they are there, would they not also do it? Then it goes.
That's sounding like an excuse.
No, what is the excuse? I'm not going to align myself with those calling for the sack of the IGP. Why? It shows it is a misplaced priority. What do you want to sack the IGP for? Because either name entered and all that, they didn't enter and all that. You're not calling for the sack of IGP that insecurity is rising.
What happens if we have forcemen that are not competent? If we have people who are not medically fit, if we have people who do not pass the test, come on, what are we talking about?
What do you do if you have people who do not pass the test? It's a different case. It's bad for you to fix in people who did not pass the test. But it also goes...
Challenges in the force, right? When we talk about police to citizens relationship and some of those the hacks that we usually have, we'll trace it down to their training, trace it down to their recruitment. And now the recruitment process, people are alleged, there are allegations that the recruitment process is faulty.
If it's
and we're just...
The other person's own is wrong. The IGP is saying no. Then what am I saying is a misplaced priority? Why are we even focusing on this? Is this what you should call for the IGP to be sacked?
Recruitment's not important.
You're not even talking about insecurity.
Recruitment of men who are going to handle these.
There are no proofs. There are no both the
That's what we should be looking at.
But again, too, there's a process to this. There's
of course.
Process to this. You know, there are people, there are panels that are called to manage this recruitment process. If the Police Service Commission felt that yes, there's some kind of a malpractice, why didn't they also have stopped that process in the first place? Because they also waited for so long, not until names.
They published the list. Yes.
Probably. Service, as the case may be, or screening, right? Their names will be published. Messages will be sent to them. And they are also part of their men that are responsible to ensure that this exercise was being carried out.
Of course.
So if you know that this person is not also fit, at that point, why not say...
When they saw the list, the accusation here is that names were added to the list. That's so the accusation.
Now, names were added to the list. So that means that they have the original names. Fine. So like Dandy said, if you feel that names were added, let's have those names. You know, side by side with what the IG have published. But of course, I'm not in support of these corrupt practices. So when you accuse one of a particular act or doings, you should come up with what? With proofs. Like I said, in Nigeria, we are good at come, we do have just say the paperwork, a mercy, at the end of the day, nothing is being done. What we want is proactive measures. These people are not qualified. And these are the names of people that were found and they are not medically fit. This person is from so state. Is the person a sickle cell? Then at that point we can get talking. Not coming to tell us that names have been published, neither name and not.
And this person is a political.
Now the sponsor company Sarah said it aims to democratize the process by throwing the entry open to all Nigerians irrespective of professional background, and would allow Nigerians to choose by themselves the best contestant to reign. At the ceremony, the Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, Chief Uche Naji, said the plan aligns with the renewed hope agenda of the present administration, which aims to attain the goal of the 25-year roadmap approved in 2005 for the implementation of the National Space Policy Program, which projected to send Nigeria's first human space flight in 2018, which is now 6 years behind schedule, so it's right about time for this to be done. And he said the occasion could not have come at a better time because human space flight had been a key objective for Nigeria, hence the National Space Policy and by the Federal Executive Council in 2001. Now, he has stated that this is the right time. In fact, it's long overdue. It's been 6 years down the line. This policy has not yet been implemented. So if we are going to send the first astronaut to the moon, then it's something remarkable. Well, I'm just interpreting the story now. Let's get to hear from you. Justin, you're not looking excited.
You know,
No, not really.
Are you thinking about coming out as one of the candidates? Because the way you are eyeing the story.
No. Well, it is well encouraging. You know, it's commendable that we're having this kind of
policy being implemented.
Like we rightly said for now, 6 years back, we have in paper. We have to implement it. So these are what we see in this country. But now, yes, the ministry.
Girl now.
Yes, now you so